Hello, good evening, welcome along to the Jackocar Cup Series. It is Season 13, it's Thursday Night Thunder, and we are here this evening to decide our final Championship 5 position in what we're calling the Championship 4, which is not confusing at all. It is the decider for the Chase Championship. We already have our playoff Championship 4 confirmed. We'll explain how that's happened throughout qualifying, because when we left you last week we only had one position confirmed and now we have all four. So post-race penalties and withdrawals have caused everything to change. Here in qualifying, essentially the first sort of half of qualifying is a bit pointless. We have duels going on, but the duels championship is over, so this is purely for stats, I suppose, if you want to win your duel. But the main event will be at the end of qualifying, when Ben Harrett, Jordan Lane, Jimmy Griffiths and Jackocar will go out in their own slots to try and qualify as high up the grid as possible. Whichever one of those four finishes basically ahead at the end of the race will join our championship 4 and make it a 5. So that is where we are this evening, as you can see, in Bahrain, of course. And with me, Owen White, in the commentary box, I have got Jacko, as always. Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. Great to be back here. The penultimate race of the first season of the Shaw Hall era is upon us. You call it the Championship 4 there. Everyone seems to call it the Championship 4. I believe it is actually called the Chase Shootout, to give it its correct name. But, you know, not my league. Name's above the door, but I'm not in control of anything. So, as you were. Welcome to Bahrain.
I think I look at it as Championship 4 because that's what it is, isn't it? In NASCAR, it is literally the Championship 4. So it's like, well, here's clever. We do have the real Championship 4, but, you know, then we go a step up next week and make it a Championship 5 just to outdo them. But, anyway,
NASCAR have got rid of that as well. They're all points based now.
Or even their final race, is it not a Championship 4 anymore?
Yeah, they obviously have their own chase, which is the final 10 races. Points are reset, but the final race could be redundant because it's possible that somebody could win it before the final round.
Oh yeah, of course. Oh yeah, they have. Yeah, they have gone. Thank God for that. It works better in our context for league racing, but I think going back to a chase is better. They're one step away from just going back to full championship points. Although, of course, that would mean Tyler Reddick would be champion already, really, wouldn't it? So
was he 110 clear of Denny Hamlin?
Just destroying the field. Yeah. I don't watch NASCAR, but all I've seen is basically anytime it pops up on my timeline, it's Tyler Reddick's won again. Tyler Reddick's won again, and he was breaking all sorts of streaks and everything, and he seems very impressive.
Absolutely, good driver. I was there for the opening too, you may remember.
Yes, you were, because I had to do the commentary on my own for that race. I want to say it was China?
Yes.
Yeah, China. Yeah. That was a few months ago, that. No, it's May tomorrow. That was back in February.
I know, it's race 235 now, would you believe, of Jackocar. They certainly are ticking off, aren't they, as we conclude or come to the end of this season. Just 2 to go. Bahrain tonight and somewhere next week.
Yes, we still don't know where our Championship 5 will be. That just means that drivers who are already confirmed to be through can't, sweat out the track. That's a bit... Saying that, I think we'll get told after this race exactly what the track is, but at least by that point we'll know our Championship 5, so they can sweat it then. Arnaud could have started sweating 2 or 3 weeks ago. He was that many points clear in the standings. As we watch Dustin coming to the final corner. He is in a duel against Pete Knighton, who could easily have been in that Championship 4 tonight for the chase, but his DNF in Saudi Arabia really did derail his season. Dustin goes fastest, and we'll see if Pete Knighton can challenge that. But we did mention the playoffs. So the breaking news, essentially, first of all, is that Casper, having saved himself last week, he got a post-race penalty which put Ben Shaw back ahead of him in the standings into what was 5th place. Well, it is still 5th place in the playoff standings, but he's been bumped up into 4th place because Jake O'Sullivan cannot make the Championship 5 next week, which means he's had to withdraw from the season. He'll still race, I believe, tonight, try and get some stats and all the rest of it, but he won't be here next week, so he was running 2nd in the playoff standings. What that means is that Johannes, Tony and Ben have all moved up. And since tonight would have been basically the last 5 in the playoff standings going for, you know, the 4 available places, losing Jay O'Sullivan by default means that Arnaud, Johannes, Tony and Ben are through to the Championship 5, and Casper's post-race penalty has him knocked out. So they are the playoff drivers through. We don't really need to worry about them. As we say, it is all about the chase runners.
Yeah, and of course those 4 are of course the fan favourite, and I think the competition favourite as well. Decker Cornley, Ben Harrett's in there, Jamie Griffiths, and the other one, Jordan Lane. I was going to say Mike Kelterborn, but it's definitely not.
No, he got knocked out last week in Australia, along with this man here, Barry Baldwin, who's just gone across the line slower than Michael Akeke, but he's still in 3rd place. And for him tonight, this is race number... Well, actually, you know what? You're the one who came with a stat, Jack. I'm not going to nick your stat.
Okay, well, I've got 2 stats for you. We'll focus on the man who's retiring after next week. That's, of course, Barry Baldwin. 100 Kia Series starts, 100 Cup Series starts this evening, so 200 all-time in Jackocar. Puts him 6th on the list there for all-time starts. As I said to Owen off-stream, he's going to finish his career in Jackocar on 2:01, which for the OCD man like myself is irritating, but what a great career for the great Welshman. And you've just seen his lap as he went off towards the end of it, Michael Okeke. He is having his 200th Cup Series start alone. He actually sits on what would be tonight 248, and he is the 2nd most experienced driver in the field ever. So 2 incredible achievements, really.
Very impressive stuff. And the other stat that we've got is that it's 217 races now since Pete Knighton last won a race. But what we failed to notice 2 weeks ago, on the 16th of April, that was the 6th anniversary of Pete Knighton's last victory in the Cup Series. So it's been 6 years and 2 weeks today since Pete Knighton last won in the Cup Series. He's currently on provisional pole. Could this be the day he breaks that streak? It could be a weird old race, you know, today, because you've got the playoff drivers, they're under no pressure. The chase drivers, who are still in the championship, they're under big pressure. And someone like a Pete Knighton could just go in there and, you know, see what happens as he gets beaten there by Chris Waits, who goes fastest. But, you know, it could be just one of those weird races tonight. So we'll see how we get on. We're watching Mike Kelterborn finish his lap. He's in a duel against Bazza, and he will cross the line to beat Bazza in that. Michael Akeke is against Gareth Hall in his duel, and Sullivan Lewis is against Chris Waits. Gareth running reserved colours, but don't be fooled by the name. That does say Gareth Hale, so he's still making sure we all know who's boss, but that's about as close as you'll get to seeing his actual name in this league. Well, we're not obviously announcing it as the Sean Hall era. Here comes Gareth, and this looks like a good lap to me. This should go fastest, and it does by some distance. Are we sure that's him in the car and not
Gareth
genuinely, are we sure this is him in the... not to, like, put him down, but are we sure this isn't Casper? Where's Casper's name on that list?
Casper, I believe, is joining late.
Yeah, but who told us that? Gareth Hall told us that.
Gareth Hall told us that.
I'm calling BS on this lap. He's 6/10 faster than Ben Shaw, a Championship 5 driver. I'm calling BS on that lap. I'd be happy to be wrong. Don't get me wrong. I'd be delighted. But that just stinks of giving
sweat, and so does this. As Tony goes P1,
only
4 clear.
Yeah, only 4/10 clear of Gareth Hall. Clear off of that. That is not Gareth in that car. Probably.
Are you suggesting Casper has changed his name because he's on PC?
Oh, he's just joined. That just spoils it, doesn't it? Okay, conspiracy over. Somehow Gareth Hall has just set that lap. How has he done that? If he was doing that all season, he might have been in the Championship 5 next week. Obviously, he is. He wasn't in the playoffs, but he was the third driver to drop out.
He said to me he couldn't possibly win the Cup Series championship in his first season as league owner, as that would be, and I quote this, too obvious. So instead, what they've done is they've kicked Casper out on penalties, Jake's dropped out, and Ben Shaw, the other co-owner, has made his way to a championship 5. So you do the maths.
That never even occurred to me.
Yeah. Of course, Jackocar, integrity upheld as ever. It has always been the most honest league ever.
Oh no! Gareth's got himself disqualified from the session, has he? Well, that's not very useful, is it? He's now at the back. Oh dear, he's on. Well, there you go. Top man not making it obvious. He's at the back. He'll be joined at the back by Arnold, who's invalidated another lap time this season. It feels like he does this quite a lot. But we know he can win from the back. He did so last week. He'll probably do it again tonight. Well, he doesn't.
Here comes Arnold for the record.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He's invalid, so he's going to be at the
invalid.
back. Yeah, he's at the back. So that gives him something to do tonight. He's against Jake O'Sullivan in his duel, so Jake should win that. Ben Shaw won his duel against Casper because Casper's not here. Johannes has lost out to Tony because he's in his fourth place, but 1.5 seconds off. It's ridiculous, that. And where's Sully? Where did Sully go? He's on his outlap still, so we're yet to see how he gets on against Chris Wade. That's a big. Oh, he's spun out of the final corner as well. That's not going to help. Gareth has lost out to KK because he's been disqualified from the session, although he did technically set the time, and now Sully's going to pit. Okay, so he's going to be at the back as well. Which leaves, I believe, Ben Harrett to be the first of our Chase Championship 4 drivers to go for a lap. So we'll sit on board and follow him around. Like I say, the way this works tonight, Ben Harrett will do his lap first, then it'll be Jimmy Griffiths, then it'll be Jordan Lane, then it'll be Jackocar. They all have their own qualifying slot, 90 seconds apart from each other. Apart from Ben Harry's 2 minutes ahead of Jimmy Griffiths, within the 90 seconds after that. And that means all 4 of them will get their air time, and they won't have to deal with any traffic or anything like that, in theory, out there on the track. What that'll also do is it'll put them under massive pressure, which we always like. But essentially, they don't have to win the race or anything like that tonight, but it's whoever of these 4 finishes highest in the race will join our Championship 5 lineup. Looks like a relatively okay lap so far from Ben, who, it's got to be said actually, considering how horrendously bad last season went for him. He had a good race in Brazil as Jake goes second fast. He had a good race in Brazil, and nothing else really went his way. To be in a position here to potentially qualify for a Championship 5, it's been quite the turnaround, and it would be very impressive to see him make it there. He's been competitive for a long time. This is his 10th season with us, I believe, in the Cup Series, so he's had plenty of time to get himself into this position. And as he comes across the line, it's not going to be at the front, but it should be midway through the top 10 as he goes 5th fastest, just ahead of Johannes. Could be fighting him for a championship next week, and that is the pace that he's got for us.
What is that? Ben Harrett driving that car. You are correct. 10 seasons with us now for Ben Harrett, and he's been to 2 Championship 5s prior to this. We'll switch our attention to Jamie Griffiths, who has not been to 2 Championship 5s, but he has won 2 races and been in the playoff portion of the season 4 times prior to this. Of course, those 2 wins coming at Monza and Silverstone, and we never mention them, do we? They're 2 of the probably best finishes we've ever had.
I mean, he must be delighted, considering, yeah, we really do mention him every week. It is I don't know why, because they are some of the very best races we've had, but surely you'd think we've got something else to talk about. So we've got, what, 225 races under our belt tonight, but oh well. At least he's won some good ones, but he'd like to have something to talk about in the second half of Jackocar's existence. And he's had a few good races this season, hasn't he? He's been front runner in, obviously, the wildcard race in Hungary, and he could well have won that race on the track. Obviously, he sort of bent the rules a little bit, but he proved he could lead from the front, so if he gets himself into any sort of good position wherever we are next week, especially if it's someone that's difficult to overtake, somewhere where it could be, track position key. That's what Hungary was like, and Jamie looked pretty untouchable there. So if he can get himself through, yeah, he could write himself a little bit of history as he comes into the final sector now. The driver ahead of him, that is Ben Harrett, so that won't worry him too much as Jordan starts his lap, so we'll cut to him in a moment. But Jamie out of the final corner. We're not expecting any of these drivers to challenge Tony's pole position. That should be in the bag. But what about beating Ben Harrett? Another very good time. That was almost third place. He was only missing out by about a tenth of a second there on Ben Shaw. There was Jamie Griffiths. These guys have really pulled it out here.
It's almost like they're trying, isn't it? It's like they know there's a potential of going to a Championship 5. And you may remember the incredible race we had at Monza last season, Jordan off the track there. How it come down to the line in Monza between Robin and Bazza. They were 4th and 5th. What is Robin and Bazza doing in 4th and 5th in Monza? But these drivers, when they need to deliver, they do seem to come alive in this league, whether it's playoffs or chase or whatever. They do turn up, and so far we've seen Ben Harrett and we've seen Jamie Griffiths. They've put their cars way ahead of where they should be. Jordan Lane to come, and then obviously Deck Cornley after that. Jordan Lane, by the way, this is his 11th season with us. He's been to one Championship 5 before. That was season 1. That was 6 years ago. And he's had 6 playoff appearances. Final corner then for Jordan Lane, the man from Sheffield. 42 laps led in his career, 1 Cup Series victory. And what can he do here in Bahrain this evening? He goes P9. It's still top 10. He will take that. And it leaves us, like I say, with Deck Cornley to go. Owen Wyatt.
And this is the driver that we were delighted to see get added into the chase. He was a reserve for the first part of the season and he delivered higher entertainment. And since he arrived in the chase, he has looked the favourite. Obviously, it's hard to predict things in the Cup Series, but he has been very consistent. He's got a lot of pace and he's going to have to seriously challenge Jamie Griffiths for that 4th place. He's been high up on the grid so far this season. He's been able to do it, but that's the benchmark set by Jamie, by Ben Harrett. Very high indeed. Jordan even in 9th place, and it guarantees him a top 10 start. You can see Castor's out there on track, but he's not going to set a lap time. He's just doing that, I think, to put the setup on his car. I don't know if that ever actually does anything, but they always do it just to be safe when they join late into the session. But it looked like a good first sector from Deck. Certainly faster than what we saw from Jordan. And let's say, I'm expecting this to be a good lap time, Jacko, because he's shown it all season, and he knows this is his big chance, and he knows we will never let him forget it if he doesn't take it.
And as ever, another race we never mentioned is that famous Australia one, where he had it all very briefly, but this really is his chance of redemption. Granny waits on the end of the phone line for Deck to call up after the race next week to say he's won a Cup Series title. Her teeth are out with excitement. That's what he wants to be doing. He wants to join the big guns of Arnoud and Johannes and Tony and Ben Shaw next week. He's never been to a Championship 5 before racing. He's never been a full-time driver before. But Decker Cornley puts himself P8 on the grid. P8 for Decker Cornley, another top 10 for the Chase Championship drivers. It leaves us, Owen, with the race to go.
So that leaves them 4th, 6th, 8th and 10th. So they'll be nose to tail on the 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th rows are chase contenders. But on pole position, it is a reigning champion in Tony Kirkpatrick. And if you're ever going to look for a first back-to-back champion in Jackocar history, we're looking at Tony Kirkpatrick. It could well be him. Jake Sullivan alongside on the front row, and then you've got Ben Shaw and Jamie Griffiths. Chris Waits, Ben Harrett, Johannes, Deck, and then Pete and Jordan will complete top 10. You can see the rest of the grid. Gareth's time would have been enough to have him right up there with those guys as well, but getting himself disqualified for stopping in a dangerous location has done him in. Saying that disqualification happened just as Casper came back into the lobby. I'm still not going on about conspiracies, but a bit convenient. I don't know what happened there. Maybe Casper switches accounts or something. But either way, Gareth look out for him because he's got pace. Could come through the field. Looking for Arnold. He's at the back as well. We know he'll come through the field. And well, for Jake O'Sullivan, this is his last chance to win a race this season, so he may well want to either get involved in that or cause a bit of havoc and see what he can do about the championship contenders from the chase. But we're here on the grid. Not going to rain in Bahrain. It never does. So it should be relatively straightforward. We've got no, wild card situations. It should be just a simple two-stop. And first across the line gets a spot on the Championship 5 as far as these chase drivers are concerned.
Yep, a couple bits of clearing up to do there. Tony Kirkpatrick, his 18th career pole. He goes level with Casper Klein. And also, you mentioned about Jake O'Sullivan, his last opportunity to win a race this season. I said to you again off stream, I was speaking to another member of the Cup Series today, and he said that Jake desperately cares about his wins record. He sits on 28 wins all time, and he's being caught at a rapid pace this season from Arnaud de Grief, who is on 26. 2 more wins for Arnaud this season puts him level on the all-time wins record and would make him a 2-time Cup Series champion.
Yeah, put some one away from Jake on the championships as well if he does that. We were saying that before as well. We've got a Championship 5 count that's guaranteed now. We're only going to have either one-time champions or no-time champions on the grid. So, no Jake O'Sullivan in there, no Jimmy Wright in there, no Khalifa in there. So, big drivers who have been mainstays in Championship 5s going slightly missing this season, which gives us a chance for, another first-timer or a first-time double. So, should make next week very interesting indeed. We've got something going on, Jacko.
I don't know if it's Casper or Gareth. Well, it's neither of them.
Well, that's what I've been going on about all night.
Yeah, there's a car that's just shot to the lead. I don't know who it is.
Well, Casper
might just be me making things up.
Casper and Gareth are still running at the back, but
it's Sullivan Lewis who wants to lead the formation lap from 16th. I thought it was Gareth.
I always wonder why they do this, to be honest. I know the tyres.
No rules.
I know the tyres tend to cool down a lot on the grids, but I mean, yeah, there must be some sort of advantage to doing this. But anyway, Sully, he'll head on. One of 4 drivers starting this race on medium compound tyres. Interestingly, our pole sitter in Tony Kirkpatrick is one of those drivers. Chris Waits and Mike Keltmore as well. So Jake on soft, expect a quick start from him. But Ben Shaw, I mean, he's into a Championship 5 this season. He's not won a race yet, has he, this season? So this sort of position on the grid could be really handy for him.
Ben Shaw last won a race a whole season ago. It's been 16 races from that evening in Monza, that same one where it was Robin and Bazza fighting for the Chase Championship, the place in the Championship 5. It was Robin Border who came out on top that evening, and tonight we are going to see one of Deck, Jamie, Ben or Jordan join the big guns: Johannes, Tony, Ben Shaw and Arnaud de Grief. Owen Wyatt, it's almost time for a little catchphrase as there's a car that goes into the pit lane.
That's Casper who's done that. Casper, who was about to big up because we know he has very fast starts, and going from the back row of the grid, I'll be fascinated to see if he gets himself ahead of Arnold at the very least. But look at the way these drivers are moving about on the grid. They do this every week. And that was Pete trying to go a bit too far to the inside this time, as we see the lights coming on ahead of the drivers. 5 lights here in Bahrain, and boogity boogity boogity, let's go racing. And surely Jake's got the better start there on the soft compound tyres. If he doesn't have a better start, he'll be better on the brakes for certain. So side by side into turn 1, look at Jamie Griffiths moving up to 3rd place, and fair play from Ben Shaw to lead the room, but it's Jake who leads out of the first complex of corners, and that was Ben Shaw not wanting to affect a potential championship contender. Now he's got the other Ben behind him in Ben Harrett in 5th place. He's ahead of Johannes at the moment, and he'll be looking to try and get past his namesake. But you can see there Jamie Griffiths is already struggling ahead there of Ben Shaw. there's a potential opportunity here for Ben Harrett. I think he could take advantage of this, but we'll see how things pan out as we've got a little bit of side-by-side behind. I think that's Chris Waits and Sullivan Lewis, and Deck nearly into the back there of Johannes. He'll lose a position, will he? No. Sully has a big slide coming out of turn 10. That saves Deck from losing a bit of ground. He can see the drivers ahead of him. He's got to make moves happen. As Gareth, again, I'm still not convinced that's him in the car. He's gone all the way up to 10th and then he's gone straight off the track. But he made a rapid start ahead of Arnaud, who's now got back past him. But yeah, well, what's up with Gareth tonight? He's just so fast. Jordan's at a poor start. He's down to 13th. He's got a lot of work to do.
Well, Owen, I just for my own curiosity went on board with Casper at the start. And he made 0 positions up. He's still 18 at the end of lap 1. So, will the real Gareth Hall please come forward? He's up to P10 as we see Jackocar pit.
Yeah, right. Okay, I'm on board with Gareth Hall. That is Casper. Casper has the straight line speed. He's had straight line speed all season long. You are watching Gareth Hall on board right now. According to the graphic, I'm telling you, it's Casper, because Casper is currently in the pits, having had an accident on the first lap. That surely is Gareth, because he's not even fixed his front wing. I don't know. I'm looking at the straight line speed of that car, and that's very un-Gareth-like, and it's very Casper-like, because he's just got past Arnold and just got past Pete Knighton.
Yeah, Gareth's not that good, by the way, folks. Just to reaffirm the situation that we find ourselves in. Casper Klein P9 and Gareth Hall P18. Gareth Hale, of course, I should say.
That would be a very Casper thing to do that. I bet he'll have tried to spell Gareth's name properly, but just misspelled it.
Yeah. A capital I would have done that.
Yeah.
Capital I, lowercase l.
Amateur. I'm just going to check the race directive, because I did spot a pit stop for Decker Cornley. A full speed pit stop, no damage, so that is purely tactical. He's gone for the track, for the clear track. And when he's got Gareth Hall, Casper, whatever his name is, behind him with damage, he's not going to challenge. He's not going to challenge Deck, so Deck will have that free space. Tony is back into DRS range of Jake. He'd briefly fallen out on those medium compound tyres, but he's got himself back through, as has Ben Shaw on Jamie Griffiths, who's going to get a nice wee switchback here, and he'll get a dose of DRS as well up the hill. And I think Jamie Griffiths is going to take this third place straight back again. Up the inside into turn 4, and Jamie Griffiths is here to play tonight, and he's blocked off the inside line as well. Nowhere for Ben Shaw to go, and that was very nearly an accident there. Well spotted by Ben Shaw to see what was going on. Sully is side by side with Pete Knighton and Jordan and Chris Waits. Gareth Hall, Casper Klein, has got ahead of all of them and up into 7th place from the very back of the grid. So he's making good progress. There's a car going a little bit wide. I think Chris Waits has been shuffled down the field a little bit. Jordan is up to 10th now, so he is making a bit of ground up. But when you've got Jimmy Griffiths up there at the front, fighting away and winning that P3 back again, I mean, they've all got to do some work here. I'd be fascinated by Deck's strategy. He's ahead of Arnold at the minute. He's also decided to go for that strategy. Arnold will probably get past him, but if Deck can hold on to him, keep an eye on those two on those hard compound tyres.
And of course, Ben Harrett now has actually started to fall away from the Jamie Griffiths group. So Jamie Griffiths is, like, as you say, Owen, he's genuinely come here to play, as Jake O'Sullivan pits from the lead and Tony Kirkpatrick takes it off of him. Ben Shaw third, and Jamie Griffiths, you see that there, he pits as well. What does Ben Harrett do? He also pits, and Jordan, I can't find Jordan.
In the pits.
30th, there you go. So they're all in this lap. Deck, of course, pitted on lap 1. Will he get the jump on all of those that are in the pit lane? He's struggling out the final corner. He's chasing Arnold. But yeah, it was Jamie Griffiths in the pits first, so let's see. No, he's already out. He's already out, way ahead of Jordan.
Look at that. Ben Harrett has jumped Johannes. He's now side by side with Arnold. I wonder if Johannes had to share a pit stop, a pit slot with either, well, it must have been either Jake or Jamie that he had to share it with, but it's cost him quite dearly there. And there's been a moment for Dustin, who's can't see any damage, but he was certainly bringing the yellow flags out. So Jamie 2 seconds ahead of Ben. Deck can see them, so that's better than it was before, I think. But currently running sort of 5th in that train of 5. But all looking good still here for Jamie Griffiths. I'm feeling very good about him at the moment. This is looking very fast. As off the road goes Johannes, that's going to let Deck through. And that's another place made for him, surely. No, actually, Johannes was able to keep his foot down. Fair enough. Keeps hold of his position. Surely Ben Shaw has to pit, and he does. As does Casper from 3rd place. If it's not Casper, it has to be. Bazza has stayed out. He may well be the last one out there on softs. Do you reckon he may try and lead the race on his 200th race appearance, his 100th cup appearance? He's just 2 pit stops away from it.
Yeah, if he doesn't try it this week, he'll try it next week, I can guarantee you. Of course, Barry Baldwin, he's led as many laps as 11 in the Cup Series. Not that impressive, but he'll always tell you, he'll be the first one to tell you, the calibre of competition he puts himself up against is always better than his own ability, and that's why he has become one of the best drivers in that, because of the racecraft and how he's had to learn to fight better drivers. Fantastic career, as we keep saying, and that sealed it not last season, the season before, with that Cup Series victory in Monza.
Yes, and while he's fighting away here at Chris Waits, we've got Ben Shaw 5 seconds away from Jake, so Jake's looking pretty good for the win as things stand, even in these early stages. It looks to me like he's got this under control. Ben is currently ahead of Jamie as well, so that's gone well for him in that battle. But we saw Jamie was able to fight back last time Ben was ahead. Can he do it again? He's got to worry about Casper behind him and Arnaud. So they're 2 cars he can afford to sort of let pass him. But then after that, it's Ben Harrett and Decker Cornley. Just 1 car separating him and Ben. That is Johannes in there. So, you know, things are quite tight. Jordan is a bit detached from this, but 1 safety car could make the difference there. Chris Waits is going to take the lead, just a bite as Tony comes out of the pits. And well, look at that. I was wrong. He's actually managed to jump Jake. Okay, fair enough then. So Tony is the one looking good for the win. As I say again, all early stages, but he's just ahead of Mike. He should pull away from him, and then it'll be Jake. And you can see Casper going for this up the inside. Doesn't actually fancy it this time on Jamie. Doesn't want to take out a chase contender, but he's already ahead of Ben Shaw. Oh, could you imagine if I'm wrong about this?
What, and Gareth's actually got genuine pace?
And Gareth's actually got genuine pace. It'd be ridiculous, wouldn't it?
The thing is, what doesn't make sense to me is Gareth and Casper would have had to have agreed to do this, and they are not 2 people that see eye to eye.
Yeah, but they're both out of the championship. Why not? Why not have a bit of fun?
Well, I agree, why not? But these 2, I just don't see it.
The thing is, I'm still burned by last season in China, where Gareth decided to dress up as Yuri and had me fooled for half the race, and I'm never going to let that happen again. I'm never letting that happen again. So as far as I'm concerned, you're not going to fool me again on this. That is definitely Casper. As we see Jake getting past the damaged car of Mike Kelterborn. Chris Waits is going to come to the pits, and it looks to me like Mike may even try and fight back. He's quite close, but he'll lose speed on the straight now. Arnaud has got himself ahead of Ben Shaw now, but look at this. So Casper's ahead of Jamie. So Jamie's actually gotten back ahead of Ben Shaw during all this, but the thing for Jamie is just to let the faster guys go through, surely, but do it in a way that doesn't put him under pressure from Ben Harrett, who's been re-overtaken by Johannes. So I mean, when these 3 cars get past, I suppose then it is just a straight up dogfight between his 2 other rivals. So Arnaud's gotten through as well. I mean, I suppose we know we can fight off Ben Shaw, don't we? So yeah, I don't know. It's a very strange order at the minute. Obviously with all the movement going on. Just trying to see where Jordan is. So Jordan, he's got 2 cars between himself and Deck, and about 6, maybe 7 seconds. That's quite a long gap, isn't it? I don't know if Jordan's going to be able to do this. Naturally, he may need a safety car or a red flag to get him a bit closer here.
You took the words out of my mouth there, Owen. I was going to say at some point, sometime in this race, a couple of these guys are going to need a safety car. At the minute, it is very much the Jamie Griffiths show. I know the viewers will be like, oh, why are you worried about the man in P6? Well, because the man in P9, P10 and P13 are all fighting for the same thing as him. First one across the line gets a place in the Championship 5 next week. And Jamie Griffiths has shown up here. But Ben Shaw in the DRS then. I'm laughing too. Gareth Hall fastest lap. I don't think so. Ben Shaw will move up into P6 behind Arnaud. Will it be job done? Probably not, because Jamie Griffiths has been aggressive so far this race. Ben Shaw wide, Jamie Griffiths loose. Will they cancel each other out? Here we go. Up to turn 4. Jamie would be silly to send it there, and he doesn't. Bigger picture, my son, and you're going to be safe into round 17. Johannes now on his tail.
I really do think that the experience from Hungary is helping here. I mean, because it has been a while since Jamie won a race, obviously, but being able to just have that speed in that race, I mean, it was a big deal at the time. Then obviously he was found out to have broken the rules that day, and the safety car sort of ruined his chances anyway. But that was the moment we knew he had some pace, and now we're seeing the racecraft as well. So yeah, he's doing a good job at the minute. Mike Kelterborn, I believe, is the only driver out there that hasn't made a pit stop yet. He, I suppose he's waiting for maybe a VSC or something like that to give him a sort of cheaper pit stop, but he's probably going to be right at the back once he's made that stop, which means if he had made it, I mean, he and Baza were the two to get knocked out last week. Baza currently running 17th, and Mike will be right down there with him once he's made his pit stop. So I suppose it shows that the right four made it through to this stage this week.
Absolutely. And by the way, here comes Johannes on Jamie Griffiths. Even with the DRS there, Johannes might even get Ben Shaw, but it does put Jamie Griffiths right in front of Ben Harrett now, who's actually bringing Deck with him, so they are all together.
And we're only 1/3 of the way through this race. There's still plenty to develop here, but as you say, Johannes, he's got by 1. Is he going to get by 2? He's got a lot of space given to him there by Ben Shaw, and then they touch, of course. But look at that for a mover on the outside. That's going to be tricky into the outside of 8. I'd be surprised if Johannes can make that move stick. And Ben Shaw, he's done a good job to defend that and hold on to what is a net 5th place in the race at the moment. Jamie there was having a look through 9 and 10, but luckily didn't make any contact with Johannes, who's at the minute not looking at the top 4, is he? He's if he's net P6 at the minute, fighting for net P5, he needs something to happen ahead of him to keep his streak going.
These two fighting, by the way, is bringing Harrett and Cornley back to Jamie Griffiths. It's hurting the Welshman. It is hurting him.
I agree with that, yeah. I was going to say, maybe if Jamie stayed in the DRS it would help, but if they're both going slower ahead of him, well, the DRS isn't really going to do much, is it? And give it maybe another lap or two of this, and yeah, it could well be that Ben Harrett and Jackocar are in all in DRS. So this should be fascinating to see as Johannes gets himself past Ben Shaw. He's got through on the inside of turn 1. Now let's see the sort of cutback that Ben will get, because the way the DRS detection point is into turn 1, it happens during the braking zone. So if you're going to dive at the inside of 1, you should be able to fight back if your car has just been overtaken on the way to turn 4. That's what we saw Jamie do against Ben earlier on, but Ben had a wee moment there through 2 and 3, couldn't make it stick, and I imagine Johannes may be able to pull away.
Ben Harrett slid off the track and Deck's through. He's managed to save it, has Ben Harrett, but Deck is promoted to P8, and he is the fastest of the 3 right now, because Jamie's still being held up by those 2 in front. Sorry to interrupt, Owen. Big moment in this Chase Championship. Ben Harrett sliding all over the place again. Those tyres are done. Well, they're hot. But yeah, Deck all of a sudden becomes the threat for the Welshman, Jamie Griffiths.
So it's important here for Ben just to keep a cool head, because, like I say, we're only 1/3 of the way into the race, and I imagine if as long as he stays in DRS, it's actually sort of no real harm done. But yeah, that'll have been a warning to him. He's lucky he's done that on a set of hards, not done it on a set of softs or mediums, because that would really potentially wreck that set of tyres for the rest of the stint. Meanwhile, looks like a bit of harvesting there for Ben Shaw. Johannes has the most ERS out of these gaggle of three, so I don't imagine Ben's going to be going for any moves. But Jamie's not got any ERS either, so those three staying basically in the same order that they entered the straight in, despite how close they all looked. So no movement going on there, and Ben Harrett having a go at Deck here. This isn't the right thing to be doing, I don't think, at the moment. I wouldn't.
Not right now.
I wouldn't be fighting away to be the second of these guys across the line. Oh, that's Michael Akeke at a moment. And into the gravel. Looked to me like he was in the middle of the track for a moment, but he's been able to get himself out of the way, and now he's sliding through the gravel trap to try and get back on. Hopefully he doesn't get himself beached, and doesn't, so that won't be a safety car. Jordan was around that area, but I don't think he got involved, but that is a place made for him. And I mean, if Ben and Deck fight anymore, that will help Jordan to catch, but obviously none of it helps him catch Jimmy Griffiths.
It stumped their progress because it's actually, they've been so busy fighting each other that Pete Knighton is now a part of this, rather than the two of them temporarily working together to get closer to Jamie. They've actually ruined a genuine chance of getting closer to Jamie, so he's, you know, lucked in by those two being absolute idiots. There's obviously still 2/3 of the race to go, but the gap could be a lot closer than what it is. Go on, Owen.
Looks to me like Jamie Griffiths has just dropped out of DRS range of the two ahead of him. That was giving him about half a second a lap of extra pace. Now that he's lost that, could he start to get reeled in? If I'm Deck and Ben, you know, Deck especially will be able to see Jamie's gap to Ben Shaw. He'll know now that he's chasing a car that hasn't got DRS, so if he truly is faster, he should be able to actually make this gap come down. So it's 3.5 seconds at the minute. Let's see what Deck and Ben can do about this. Meanwhile, up at the front, Tony is still leading comfortably ahead of Jake. And I say, it looked like Jake would be a bit better than this, really, but his pace is dropping off, and Tony, once again, just looking very good. And he's not actually had the best playoff campaign, but I mean, he's doing enough to get himself qualified at the minute. He nearly got himself knocked out of the whole thing last week, and a win heading into his second Championship 5 would be a great way to set up a chance at a second championship in a row for the first time in Jackocar history. And Ben Harrett, as you say, has cut the corner, I think, because he's gone past Deck here. And Deck's come straight back, and you can see the gap's already gone up by a second. This is poor race management from Ben Harrett, and now it's cost him 3 seconds in penalties. And for Deck, this will be so frustrating.
I don't get it, Owen, because these two are in the same party as well. They're talking to each other. Why are they not helping each other to give each other the best shot to reel Jamie Griffiths in, and then making silly mistakes like that? Deck's had enough. He's pitting, and I don't blame him. Run your own race. Get the strategy out of the way with, because that's hampering each other. It's not good for them.
This is too early, though, isn't it? What's he going on to here?
Has he got another set of hards?
He's got another set of hards, but I mean, those ones only lasted him, what, 10 laps? And now he's going to do 17.
Well, with what I was saying, I wonder if it's strategic.
Yeah, but and my point is, are these tyres going to go to the end of the race? Because if they don't, and we don't get a safety car, that could be a big error, couldn't it? I mean, we've just seen Casper pit as well, we assume. He's gone into the hards too, but he took a set of mediums only about 7 or 8 laps. So the tyres, once again, don't look particularly good here. So we keep an eye on this. I mean, Deck will be looking for a safety car. If Deck gets a safety car right now, then, you know, it's a masterstroke in strategy. But if he doesn't, could backfire on him. Here's interesting. Jimmy Griffiths is now caught up to Ben Shaw again, and he's saved some ERS on the way as well. He has been doing this while conserving energy, and when he comes out of the final corner here, he could just cruise past the Season 8 champion and league owner. And what a great audition this is for the Championship 5 next week. He's certainly he's going to be getting a yes as far as racing, as far as his finishing position is concerned, because he would have passed the now in the pits Ben Shaw, absolutely. And that is what a 10-lap run on hards. 10 laps, is that all they can do on hards? That's amazing, because that could mean we're on for a free stopper here. And look at this side by side. This is Ben Harrett. He's been overtaken by Pete Knighton, and now he has to try and get him back, and they nearly touch, and well, it wouldn't be the first time these two have had an incident on track, and Pete Knighton has made that stick. Good
Ben
news.
Backed out of that. He knew better there. There is the bigger picture to think about. You're not out of this race. It's an uphill battle, but don't get tied up with Pete Knighton. That's a nemesis, that's a rival. There's bigger things to be looking at. But going back to Jamie Griffiths, Owen, we always knew he had this in him. But unfortunately, 43 DNFs from 147 starts prior to today.
Oh, sorry to interrupt there, Jet, but that could have been a safety car right there, as we saw Casper smashing into the back of Sully. That could easily have been the whole front wing off, and that would have been a safety car.
Yeah, like I said, too many DNFs, too much inconsistency from Jamie Griffiths. If he puts his mind to something, so clearly he's practiced for this one. He's a good runner, and very much warranting his place in the C5 as it stands as we come to halfway. Tony Kirkpatrick still leads from Jake and Arnold.
I'm still trying to find some definitive evidence. Right, Gareth Hull runs the number 2, right? That's a number.
Here we go.
That's a number 11 on his car, or in Roman numerals, that's also a 2. So, okay, right. So what's on Casper's car? Has he got a number? Well, he has got a number 2 on his car. So there's no number 12 out there, and number 12 is Casper, right? Just my investigativeness is telling me that Gareth or Casper's trying to be really clever now, and running 11.
Well, that's a Gareth idea then, because they thought about the small things to cover it up, haven't they?
But so have I. Yes, you can't.
Bazza, by the way, making a move for P13, sorry, on Dustin Rolco, who comes back through. Still fighting the old dog.
Yeah, but look at Ben Shaw at the back of this. He's trying to get involved, and this is really holding him up. Deck's ahead of him by quite some distance here, so the wheels are falling off here for Ben Shaw, and it's Bazza that's blocking it. Oh, look at that! Jake's got a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pits. I don't know if Tony got the same, but they're both into the pits, and it's all happening now. The top 3 into the pits. Ben sort of stuck in traffic, and who's going to stay out? Will Jamie Griffiths take the lead of this race? He won't.
What story?
He'll be second place, but that shows you how far Tony was ahead. So no penalty for Tony, only a penalty for Jake, and there's a yellow flag out there, but nothing's happened, has there? What's going on? We've got a yellow flag in the pit lane. How is that possible? No one's retired, and Johannes was the only one in the pit lane when that came out. I don't think anything happened there, but if we spot any cars of damage, we'll let you know.
Not a clue. Going back to Ben Shaw. This is the same Ben Shaw who's racing for a championship next week. He finally gets past the German Dustin Rolco. Maybe just not his track this evening. Sakir, Bahrain, Ben Shaw, I don't think he's ever won it here. But yeah, he's going to need to sort this out going into next week. Championship 5 build up, as ever. It is live before the race. I actually, for a change, have no idea what's involved, because there's been no production day for this one. Very, very low budget this year. But we are building up to bigger things, let me tell you. Please do join us in December of this year, and I believe it'll be May of next year. More Championship 5s. There's always a build up. But yeah, we are 1 week away from seeing another champion crowned, or maybe the same champion crowned. A back-to-back champion. It's never happened. Tony Kirkpatrick looking to do just that.
There is Jake passing Jamie there. No dramas. Jamie stayed out for as long as possible. Is he going to go for the medium compound tyre towards the end of this race? This would be a good chance to see how far these tyres go as well, in terms of well, the fact that Deck's going to have to do 17 laps. But if we get any safety cars, that will obviously cause problems. Again, that's in the pit lane. That's what Pete Knighton's not crashed in the pit lane. I'm telling you that much. So I think they're just a bit of bugged yellow flags.
If I'm Jamie, I'm coming in this lap, Owen.
Well, yeah, he's had a scare there, hasn't he? As has Ben Harrett. If they see safety car pop up now, they see themselves fall to the back of the grid, is essentially what that means. Because you cannot make your mandatory pit stops under safety car. I don't know. I still. What's the gap? Decker Cornley 27 seconds off the lead. Jamie Griffiths 5 seconds. That's 22 seconds gap between these two. This could be close between these two coming out of the pits.
Jamie's sliding.
Deck might just have done enough here to get the track position, but it's about whether he can keep it. He may not. Well, he may well not be able to keep it. But if he has track position, we know if anyone can block on track, and that is an incident. That's Pete Knighton, who's crashed out of this race, and we've got the safety car out. Oh my goodness me! It has happened. He had the scare at the start of the lap, and now Jamie Griffiths sees a safety car come out. Disaster. No, he will pit, but this is not going to be a mandatory stop. How many others are going to pit to get a fresh set of tyres on? I'm looking at Deck. I'm looking at Jordan as well. I think Jordan's the one who's got the least amount to lose here. He has made his strategy. He's finished his strategy off. Jamie's going to go on mediums, as is Casper as well. But let's just see who's pitting. Deck is going to pit. I think this is the right thing to do. Stick some fresh mediums on. He'll get to the end of the race on them. Will Jordan now stay out for track position? Yes, he will. So, in the space of a couple of moments here, it's gone from Jamie being the front runner to Jordan officially being the front runner in this Championship Ford. But Decker Cornley has put the medium compound tyres on. He is absolutely in the best position at the moment. But a lot can still happen in this race. I tell you what, though, of course it's Pete Knighton that's caused it. And, well, there you go. That's another driver that could well have been here if it wasn't for the Saudi Arabia accident on lap 1. And, well, he wouldn't have got through. So I suppose that might make it feel a little bit better. But he's absolutely thrown this into chaos.
Here's two stats for you. That's 218 races now without victory for Peter Knighton. And also, Pete Knighton drives car number 66. That was Cup Series retirement number 66. That is the record. Pete Knighton has changed the game here. However, if you're a Jamie Griffiths fan, if you're a Ben Harrett fan, all is not lost. Cautions breed cautions. You saw it in Monza last year. Anything can still happen, of course. However, as Owen Wyatt correctly alluded to, Decker Cornley on those mediums, the absolute best thing to do. Early strategy pays off. However, he's in the middle of the pack. He's in a pack with desperate drivers. He's in a pack with drivers with nothing to lose. Jake O'Sullivan pits from the lead. So this is far from over. We're going to be 11 laps to go this time round. Strap in.
Yeah, did you hear what you just said then? That's Jake pitting from the lead. Tony was running 4th on track there. Arnaud is now the race leader and he's finished his strategy, but he was ahead of Tony on track. How did that happen? I guess, did the safety car come out while they were in the pits? I sort of missed all what was going on there, but Tony has now put on a set of softs. Good luck getting them to the end. That's going to be difficult. Jake there in P10, but Arnaud's going to try and win this thing from the front on hard, but he's played himself ahead of Tony. And Jake had 2 while that was going on. So
this is not over.
Yeah. A lot of strange things going on.
Can I throw out a theory for you?
Yeah.
Arnaud's done, right? He's done on strategy.
Correct. I
Okay.
think. Let me just check again. He definitely looks like it to me.
It may not be as wild as I thought it was going to be in my head. I was going to suggest, from here, a Decker Cornley victory. It's not out of the realms of possibilities.
It's not, but well, let's just run through the order. So Arnaud has finished his strategy. Ben has to finish his strategy. Jamie has finished his strategy, and Chris Wade has finished his strategy. Casper has finished his strategy, but he's got a penalty, which means Jordan would be running net third without a penalty. He's finished his strategy. Johannes, I think, has finished his strategy, and Deck has finished his. Basically, everyone else has finished their strategy, we think. So we're essentially waiting for Ben, Jamie, and Chris to make another pit stop, and then we'll have our order.
They need to pit at their earliest opportunity, and then hope that there's another safety car. Otherwise, it is championship over, and in the most cruel way. A Pete Knight in retirement has ended, or could end, the nights for Ben Harrett.
The thing is, though,
Jamie Griffiths and Jordan Lane.
We know, though, that Jamie's fast. You know what I mean? Like, even if he does get another safety car, it really does put him back into play. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This has got Monza last season written all over it, and that was the most exciting of all finishes. You know, it's decided by I think a 10th over the line who went to the Championship 5 that night.
I mean, even Australia last week was about as
incredible,
difficult to predict as this is now at this stage, when we had the safety car out on that occasion, and the last 10 laps of that race were very hard to call, and we saw a lot of aggressive driving on that occasion. We may well have to see the same thing here. I mean, Jamie Griffiths, really, if he wants to make this work, he's going to, have to pass Ben Harrett on track. He's going to have to do that. But then he may be forced to try and challenge Arnaud as well, while also keeping Casper. Oh, Jamie's left the session. Oh no. Okay, that makes things even more difficult for him. He needs to get back in the next sort of minute or so, because the safety car will be in at the end of this lap, I would have thought. Right, okay. That's good news if you're Ben, Jordan and Deck. I mean, the driver to look out for here then, if Jimmy doesn't come back, it's going to be Deck. See if he survives the restart, which is coming in a moment, Jacko.
Yeah, so I'm just counting up what will be Arnaud's third lap led in this race. Arnaud, of course, as I said in qualifying, he is hunting down Jake O'Sullivan in the all-time race wins. Jake O'Sullivan, 28. Arnaud de Grief, 26. He's had the best playoff campaign of the lot, and he's looking to go into next week with a victory. Form may just be the way to get his second title, but we're about to go green flag racing. Is Jamie Griffiths in that car? Ben Harrett, he's going to have to go for the race lead here in Bahrain. Owen Wyatt, take it away.
Looks to me like Jamie's not in the car, and that's why it's coming into the pits. Hopefully he doesn't get into trouble for
Ben
that.
Harrett sideways, massive!
Yeah, but someone's front wing's just come flying off. If it wasn't Dex, Sully's been given a penalty for ignoring yellow flags, so a lot's gone on there, but we've got 3 or 4 wide to turn one, and that looks to me like Jordan making a big move in the mid-pack there, and it's hard to tell where he's ended up. He has ended up in 3rd place from that, and he's got no damage on his car. He's got to do that because he's going to have to stop the momentum of Deck. He's got to basically make all the moves before Deck makes them, and Deck's been hit there by Tony nearly, and a bit of a moment out of turn 4, so he's in a really vulnerable position right now as Tony makes the move and gets ahead. That's better news for Jordan. Looks to me like it's Casper in 2nd, and that's a massive dive from Jake O'Sullivan, who hits the side of Jordan. That was, not Jordan, of Deck, I should say. Very clumsy. Now it's 3 wide because Ben Shaw's getting involved, and this could well be a battle for the championship next week, these 3. We'll see how they can navigate this on this restart. But for Casper, in 2nd place at the minute, he knows he's got to get ahead of Arnaud, but then also make the 3 seconds, because that is the penalty that he's got at the moment. Jamie, it's hard. I don't know if he's in the car or not, to be honest. This could be a championship falling apart for him. He's put old, soft compound tyres on too. That's just a disaster here. So, let's just recap, because we've got Tony challenging Jordan. He's going to wait till the start-finish straight. Once he does that, that'll put Deck onto the back, and you have got to assume the Deck will be faster. Ben Harrett has had a horrible lap, and he's going to pit now. So it really is now between Jordan and Deck for for the Championship 5 spot. And look at this, here's Ben Shaw. He's going to go for the move and he's going to get by Deck this time round. Big move there. Look out as well for Tony. We've mentioned he's on those softs. We've got side by side at the front of the grid, but Tony's going to catch these guys as well. So it's Casper at the moment, ahead of Arnold, ahead of Johannes, and then Tony will surely be the fastest of the four. And if he can win this race, that'll be mighty impressive indeed. That'll make a big statement heading towards next week's Championship 5. But yeah, it's just the one car between Jordan and Deck at the minute. This is so nerve-wracking.
I know, I can feel my heart going myself. Another win for Tony puts him on to double-figure wins, but can he get those softs to the end? Yellow flags, Casper Klein, Gareth Hall is out! Oh! A saviour for Jamie Griffiths, it's only a VSC.
Oh, there's been another crash though in the background. That could upgrade it. That's Baza into the back of Sully, and that has upgraded it. The full safety cars come out. Good work, Baza.
There is life for Jamie Griffiths. He's being helped out by his fellow countryman Barry Baldwin in race 200. Wow.
I mean,
and of course strategy now complete for Jamie Griffiths. So what happens next, Owen? This is we've never had a scenario quite like this. 7 laps to go, short safety car, and all 4 chase contenders still in it, can still go through. This is unbelievable. Ben Harriott got his strategy done as well.
Jordan pitting.
Deck had fallen through the field. Jordan pits for fresh tyres. Deck does not. And what does this do for the likes of Ben Harriott?
Well, first things first, good news that for Ben Harriott, because he made his pit stop the lap before that safety car came out. If he got another safety car, that would have been just disastrous in terms of not being able to make the pit stop. Jordan's going to put some fresh, soft compound tyres on. Oh, he's going to come out in 8th place. He's going to have 2 cars, Baza, who's damaged, and OKK between himself and Deck. Oh, Jordan, this is fantastic. This is suddenly putting Jordan in a fantastic position. Jordan, who has been his day.
We were only set here in the first season to the Hall and Short. Incredible.
I'm just going to ask Gareth whether he's first. We would have to give him some flowers, and that would be really annoying. So we need to make sure that Gareth is faking it, because mess with your stats, wouldn't it? If Gareth Hall wins the race, but it's actually Casper Klein. And Casper Klein actually retires.
The DNF to Gareth's stats.
Yeah, well, this is it's important stuff. This, as we start at 24, we probably will get racing again at the end of this lap. So we'll have 5 laps to decide this race, and there'll be still time for another safety car. There'll be still time for another red flag. We've not had many incidents in this race, so
it helps Tony's tyres as well.
Yeah. Yeah, good point. It helps his tyres out. I noticed that Arnaud did a wee dummy heading towards the pits, and looks to me, I mean, Casper there went completely off the track, didn't he? And I think that's
what's he doing?
Giving Arnaud the race lead there. He went completely off the track, and he's let Arnaud come through. But yeah, they are messing about a little bit here. Wonder what's going on there. But yeah, Arnaud could have pitted under that safety car and picked up some fresh softs. He probably would have still been in the top 5. Or, near enough. And Gareth,
that's what he did last week.
Gareth is confirming that he's out of this race, which means that it is indeed Casper who is leading the race. Yeah. You're not going to get me that easily again, Gareth. But saying that, those messages did come as Gareth, Gareth's namesake was off the track. But anyway, let's not conspire anymore.
Look how hard Jamie Griffiths is pushing to catch back up to the pack. He don't want to burn those softs out too quickly. But he knows he can still make it. But it's the hope that's evaporating ever so slowly as every corner goes by. He's controlled this race from his, P4, P5, P6, wherever he's been. He's controlled the chase. And to have it taken away from him, it'll hurt.
I wonder if this may stay out another lap. Just because of how far away Risky is. It needs to be a late call for the safety car to come in. But just because Risky's so far away, are they going to keep the safety car out one more lap?
He's not going full speed either.
Is that more games being played? Because
or
that
is he
staying
protecting
out.
the tyres? Yeah.
Just build up the tension that little bit more, why don't you? Look at the weaving there from Arnaud, by the way. I mean, it always amazes me how much they can weave and not crash. Because Arnaud has done it before where he's weaved that much and crashed. He did it in Monza. But we've got a few more pit stops going on, by the way. Jamie, he's been cycling through the tyres. And I'm hoping this is a new set of softs he's going to put on. It is.
Yeah, I get it. It makes a lot of sense.
He's found a new set of softs now. And I agree with you. It makes sense. It's the only thing he can do now. Basically, just be on the best tyres and see what happens. I mean, yeah, like anything can happen here. This is far from over. This race. I'm almost speechless, really. I just don't really know how this is going to pan out. I mean, Arnaud's got bad tyres, but he's the net race leader. Johannes, I mean, there he is in the top 4 again. Tony's got the best tyres. But, I mean, a lot of these laps have been under safety car, so this soft shouldn't be too badly damaged. Casper's got the penalty, but if he can pull away, he could win. Deck could win. I mean, let's not count that out. I mean, he's right up there. If he wants to win the championship next week, he would need to probably win that race, so it'd be good to... what
a statement.
Well, exactly, yeah, good to make a statement and win a race. But Jordan, who has won a race before in the Cup Series, back in the Super Speedway a few seasons ago, he's on some great tyres. Great tyres. He could make something happen too. As could Ben Shaw, as could Jake O'Sullivan, and we're already at the end of the top 10. Ben Hart's in a bit of trouble with that penalty, so I fear for him. And then you got Jamie Griffiths down there in 15th place. So yeah.
I just don't know how every single season, Owen, something is delivered to us in one of these post-season races. There's always some drama, there's always some excitement, something always happens, and we've got 4 more laps of absolute craziness and chaos to unfold. It's Casper from Arnaud, from Johannes and Tony and Deck. Who goes to the Championship 5? Owen Wyatt.
Already Jordan pulling out to make the move there, and he's got Deck in there as well. Deck's had a poor start. I think Jordan's already ahead into turn 1. We've got Johannes and Arnaud locking up together, and there's also Tony involved. A really mixed up battle into turn 1, and Jordan has lost out. So he got ahead initially of Deck, and then has had to fall back, and there's a car off there. That's Chris Waits. He'll get back on, but here's Tony on the inside of Johannes locking up. He should have the grip on those soft tyres, and it looks to me like, Dex had a massive moment as Ben Shaw got past him. Where's Jordan now? Jordan's...
Jamie Griffiths, P10.
Jordan's right there, but yeah, as you say, Jamie Griffiths is there. Risky's into the... He's had a crash
Safety
anyway.
Car.
Right, this will last maybe a lap or 2. This can't
Look where
last
Jamie
long.
Griffiths is. Look where Jamie Griffiths is.
Well, yeah, so he's ahead of Ben Harrett. That's vital. And you can see Jordan... only 2 cars ahead, and Deck only 4 cars ahead. And he made that progress very quickly. I just wonder what happened to Jordan. He was right up there ahead of Deck at one point, and he just clearly didn't have a good run through the first corner. Oh, what a shame for him. But
it's now when Jamie Griffiths starts to believe once again.
Yes.
It's only 3 positions. It's only 3 positions. You have to ask yourself, what threat is OKK going to pose? Probably not. He's a gentleman racer. Jordan. Oh God,
Jordan's got damage.
Deck's gained an extra position.
Jordan's got damage. I just spotted on his right end plate. It might not matter too much, but he does have a little bit of damage.
Has Jake let Deck go under yellows?
I think he was already there, wasn't he? He may have been fighting him before the safety car came out, and it may have just been reinstated the correct positions.
Okay, very well. Sceptical.
This will be the last lap of the safety car. I say the last lap, the only lap of the safety car. I just don't think the game will... Well, no, the game has done last lap shooters before, hasn't it? Because Miami, Season 6, that was a one-lap shooter, wasn't it? It's just because we've got drivers in the pits here.
Silverstone short?
I don't know.
Many years ago?
I think Silverstone short was a weird one, because that was one where it decided not to do a last lap shootout, and basically no one caught the safety car, and it was already back in before it went, before anyone caught it, and it just ruined the race. But in this one, the reason I'm worrying about that is because Baza and Chris Waits have made a pit stop. They are not going to catch the safety car in this lap, so Will it be a Miami situation where the safety car comes in with 1 to go and basically it really is just a last lap shootout? I mean, it could happen. I'd rather it didn't. I think 2 laps of racing is better than 1. But, well, we'll find out shortly what they're going to do.
On this restart, I mean, Ben Harrett's not going to give it up either, but Jamie Griffiths, watch the aggression from him. He's been, well, 2/3 of this race, he was the man, all the way until that Pete Knighton safety car. And I think I'm starting to believe, as much as he will be believing, that he can get this done. It is 4 positions, I stand corrected, not 3. But you sense that Jake will protect Deck, as they'll be in the same party along with Ben Harrett. Jordan, OKK, I just don't know, Owen. I just don't know.
Well, we're about to find out.
This is Jackocar at its absolute best, as ever. Forever the leader in esports entertainment. We will not be beaten, and this is why Bahrain has delivered. The safety car is coming in. Owen Wyatt is warming up his vocal cords, and Casper Klein is bringing the field round to green once again. Let's get it going. Green, white, checker.
Good news this as well for Casper, that he gets 2 laps to try and pull away. He was doing well on that last restart. He needs to build 3 seconds to win this race, but up towards turn 1 we go, and looks like Johannes is having a little go, as is Tony. Behind this though, Deck is holding on to P6, but already making 2 places. Running outside of turn 1 is Jamie Griffiths. He's ahead of Jordan, who's got that damage, and now he's hit Michael Akeke and nearly hit Ben Harrett as well. So it's all going off towards the back, but we're riding on board here with Jamie Griffiths, who can see his championship rival right ahead of him. Tony's up into 3rd place, but with that move around the outside of turn 1, this is giving a massive opportunity to Jamie Griffiths. And look at that, we've got Ben Shaw as well having a look, and it's going to involve Deck as well, because these guys ahead of Deck are fighting very hard. Arnold has stayed within a second so far of Casper. That's not enough for Casper to win this race at the moment, and he'd be winning it from last place on the grid, by the way, as Jamie comes through. He's side by side with Jake O'Sullivan. Not an easy driver to pass, but he can do this. He can pass anyone. But let us say, with Casper, he'd be winning this race from last place on the grid. Yet again, contact as we see Ben Harrett, or not Ben Harrett, sorry, we see Jimmy Griffiths getting through on Jake O'Sullivan. That is a massive move. He can pass anyone, let us say. He can pass anyone if he can do that. And now you can see his championship rival ahead of him. This is the battle for P6 on the road, but for the Championship 5, crucially, is Jake going to come back on this final lap? He looks a little bit like he wants to go for it, Jacko.
Well, Owen, you can't believe it. Once again, it's 1 lap to go in Bahrain. And what's happening behind? Look at Jamie Griffiths. Deck has been off, and Jamie Griffiths is all over the back of him. It's 1 lap to go for them as well. What can the Welshman do to the inside of turn 1? He blocks him. There's wing damage, and they're fighting for it. They know it's for the Championship 5.
That was too
Jake
far.
O'Sullivan goes through.
This is going to get ugly, and I think Jake is possibly going to take this into his own hands. He's just seen Jamie nerfing his challenger rival, and he's going to try and block on the inside as Deck. Oh, more contact. Deck might get himself into a little bit of trouble if he's not careful. He's done well to navigate this so far.
And here comes Ben Harrett up the inside.
Yeah, Jamie's out of this now. He's got too much damage on his car, and at this point, it's now about whether Ben Harrett can do anything. I don't think he can. I don't think he's been fast enough. But what a shame for that chase to end with Jamie making the contact there with Deck. I mean, I know Deck was a little bit on the braking zone, but it felt to me like Jamie was completely out of control in that situation. Meanwhile, we do have the battle at the front of the grid. I want to watch that at some point, but we've got Jamie side by side with Ben Harrett. That's just helping Deck along. He'll take that as Baza comes up. He could finish well in the top 10 at this rate, just like he did last season at this round. But can Tony do anything to bite Arnold? This is for the win as things stand, because Casper's not been able to make the gap. Round the final corner, it is going to be Arnold who wins once again in the playoffs. He's won 2 in a row, and he's won here in Bahrain. But round the final corner, here comes Decker Cornley. He's got the gap. He's got his spot on the Championship 5. Fantastic from him, and fully deserved. Jamie Griffiths, if he didn't crash into the back of him at the start of the final lap, who knows, it could have been him. But he ends up as the runner-up in the chase. Jordan and Ben Harrett behind them as well, with Jake in the middle. Baza had too many penalties. He was well in the top 10 on the final lap, but he ended up falling to 12th. Johannes keeps that top 4 streak going. He's behind Casper, who ended up 3rd in the end. And Ben in 5th place, Ben Shaw. Well, yeah, I mean, it's good for that for Jackocar, but I do feel like what was a very good race from Jamie, he sort of let himself down at the end there.
Yeah, desperation. He knew he was the fastest driver, but he didn't have the patience at the very end. And any penalty that may come, I think, doesn't really make a difference to this race. It was all about being the first one over the line. And at the end of it, it was Jackocar who was that man. Back to the front, Arnaud de Grief goes within one race win of the record held by Jake O'Sullivan. It's 28-27. Arnaud de Grief will be looking for a second Cup Series title that he should have got a long time ago. But he's finally making the numbers count. All-time points leader, all-time laps led leader, maybe soon all-time race wins leader.
So just for this, you like this as a good start. That's Arnaud's 4th win in these playoffs. That is surely a record.
That is a record. It's never been done before. I'm just going to get the stats up for you. Khalifa got 2 in season 1. Arnaud got 3 in season 2. Jamie Wright did 2 in season 3. He also did 3 in season 4. Jamie Wright again got 2 in season 5. He was, of course, the postseason merchant, you may remember. Season 6, there were no repeat winners. Season 7 saw Ben Shaw and Jake O'Sullivan win 2. Season 8, Kieran Spears got 2. Season 9, we saw, I believe, Khalifa and Ben Shaw both get 2 each. Season 10 Jake O'Sullivan got 3. Season 11, Jake O'Sullivan got 3. Arnaud got 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. I do apologise. Jake O'Sullivan got 4 in season 11, so it has been done. And last season, there were no repeat winners in the playoffs. So Arnaud's 4 matches Jake's 4 from season 11, but of course he could go one better.
What were Jake's other finishes, do you know, in that season? Because Arnaud's other 2 results in these playoffs were a 2nd and a 3rd. I mean, he's been on the podium every race and won 4 of them. It's extraordinary.
I don't have those stats available, but I don't think we've ever seen a playoff campaign quite like this. It's also, Owen, it's for the first time since season 2, it's the first time a driver has won 3 races in a row in the Cup Series.
And well, we've been saying about all of Tony's form. I do believe that means he's actually gone the whole playoffs without a win. So
correct, yeah.
If he wants to win this championship, he's going to have to do it the hard way next week. So once again, I don't think we've been told what the Championship 5 race is. I know we're due to be told following the result of this race.
I can tell you right now.
Yes.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Championship 5. So Jackocar, Arnaud de Grief, Tony Kirkpatrick, Ben Shaw and Johannes Mellers will be fighting for a championship, the Season 13 Cup Series title, on the streets of Singapore.
Well, there you go. You heard it here first. So Singapore, that's a marathon of a race, really. I mean, what's it, 31 laps around one of the longest tracks on the calendar. It's got, I think, 4 DRS zones, a bit like Australia. A lot of opportunities to crash, a lot of opportunities for safety cars and red flags. A track as well that often rains on this game, because I think when Codemasters do like their weather for each track, they just base it on the average weather for the country. And the thing is, it always rains in the day at Singapore, but obviously the race is at night, and I don't think Codemasters ever factor that in. It does rain every now and then at night in Singapore, obviously we've seen it before, but in general, the game is just like, well, it's Singapore, it always rains in Singapore. And so, we could have a wet race next week, anything could happen, it should be very exciting. So that is the Championship 5 for next week. We have our drivers, and I'm looking forward I'm actually looking forward to seeing the chat after this race to see how upset Jamie and Deck are at each other. But, yeah. But, well, I think this has been set up very nicely.
Yeah, absolutely. There is still a possibility, by the way, that Arnold could match the long-standing record of season 2 of Kyle Smith's 4 wins in a row. I said it's the first time since season 2 that someone's won 3. It was Kyle got 3 and then he went and got a 4th. So if Arnold matches that, he becomes a 2-time champion. And to be honest, you can't look past him for being your favourite, can you?
I mean, yeah, I still think Tony, just with his pure qualifying pace, will be right up there. But I just do not know. I do not know what's going to happen. I mean, the thing is, right, if Arnold wins the title next week, there's a case that we can make for possibly this being the greatest Jackocar campaign in history. Because he's got 6 wins already this season, hasn't he? And he could win a 7th next week and the title with it. I mean, that'd be pretty. I'd make that 4 wins in a row as well.
Yeah, the season record for wins as well is 7. 7 in one season. I can't remember who did that. It was probably a Khalifa jobby back in the day. Let's just check season 2, because Kyle Smith got 4, 5, 6. Only 6. Season 4 was a Khalifa season, wasn't it?
3 was Khalifa.
3 was Khalifa, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'd have to count them all properly. Well,
Yeah.
I believe the record is 7.
Well, we'll have plenty of time next week to talk about the stats. I don't actually know the schedule for next week, but there will be a Championship 5 show of some sorts. Sean Hall have been hard at work making something, so we will see what that is next week. And then following that, we will have the Championship 5 itself in Singapore. Me and Jack will be here, and it'll also be Baz's last race in league racing, which for some people might not realise how big a deal that is, but the bloke's been here basically forever, so we will certainly give that its mention. So do join us next week. The only race in May this season, and it'll decide a championship. The first of the Shaw Hall era, the first in the Thursday Night Thunder era. Be here next week. See you then. Safe travel.